BBC got exposed for faking Trump's speech. I haven't seen this yet.
So basically, the Telegraph has exposed a crazy lie.
The BBC claims to be the pinnacle of impartial reporting.
They're lying. They're not. They're totally
Is there like an original video, or is this one better? Watch this one. Okay.
biased.
What if there was an internal
Asmund's is
dossier
good.
that
I do really like Asmund's input.
revealed that wasn't the case?
I would believe it.
The Telegraph has seen a letter that reveals one of the BBC's own independent advisors repeatedly warned that the broadcaster had serious and systemic problems.
Uh-oh.
A week before
What?
the US election, BBC Panorama released a documentary called Trump: A Second Chance, and in it they played the following clip.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell.
Wait, did he? What? Wait, is that real? I don't think that's real.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, what?
all. The BBC
Wait, what? What did they do? Wait, what? Did they edited it?
spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol, and we're gonna cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's
Man, you know what's crazy is, like, I actually have some personal experience with this. My family in Japan, I remember, like, my aunt visited and she was like, man, Trump is like so bad. And I was like, what? I was like, really? Like, what makes you think that Trump is bad? And like, she was saying like, yeah, you know, like he's like all these things. He like hates like minorities and stuff. And I was like, where'd you hear that from? Right? And she's like, oh yeah, we have CNN in Japan. And I was like, oh fuck. Oh fuck. You know, and like you think about it, right? And the rest of the world doesn't really have that much news on America. Like probably not as much as we do. Like when it comes to like American coverage of stuff, if you're in America, you have a lot of different choices, right? Like you have English speaking, you have English speaking content creators. You've got, English X. You've got multiple channels that cover things, with whatever their own bias is, right? But if you're in another country, you can only really watch what you have subs for or like dubs, right? Like if you don't speak English, right? And like, not everyone in Japan speaks like really good English, right? Like, and it's like kind of like a thing that you would think is the case from like anime, but that's actually not true, right? Like, it's kind of like if you took Spanish in high school. It's like, are you super fluent in Spanish now because you took Spanish in high school? Usually not the case. Like for instance, I took 4 years of French. I don't remember shit, basically, right? So it's kind of like their news is like very narrow, like compared to like what we have, and they can't seek alternate sources of news as easily. So you have, and so it's like even crazier now to like understand that like that their own news in their own country is also like giving them propaganda, which is just wild.
Complete misinterpretation.
Yeah.
Complete misrepresentation.
Yo, isn't that defamation?
Absolutely.
Oh, he's suing them. Okay, good.
Do you not remember watching this 3 minutes ago? Yeah, I am. It's spliced together. We watched a news report of this, but I figured I'd watch the original video since they were the ones that put it out originally. Yeah, of course I saw it.
different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later.
It's narrative creation. Yep, there it is. BBC executives resigning.
That he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
It's so disgusting how they operate. It's obvious.
And
They're parasites.
We fight like hell.
Now, it's true that a lot of people will still feel Trump's claims that in 2021 the election was stolen were entirely inappropriate. And
I think they were inappropriate.
Of a figure in politics.
Really?
Yep.
So, like, hold on. Let me think about this. Trump's claims that the election were stolen or inappropriate. So there's like multiple things going on here. So I don't think it's inappropriate in the sense that like, he probably really does believe that. And I think, honestly, I really do believe that it's actually a fair thing to think. Now, the question is it appropriate for him to say it? Look at all the times Democrats did it. Yeah, I know that's the case, but like that would be like a whataboutism argument. So like if I were to say that like, well, the Democrats did it too, whether or not the Democrats did it doesn't make it good or bad. Does that make sense? I did think of that, but it doesn't change the question of whether or not it's good. right? So it's like I didn't even factor that in. Like I didn't like even consider it as an argument. Is it irresponsible for him to say that? Well, like here's the thing. Like, what if it was stolen? Okay, what if the election was stolen and then he said it was stolen? Would that be would that then? Okay, let's say he truly believed it was stolen. Would it be immoral of him to say that it was stolen? I actually don't think so. To be honest, he'd need to back it up with proof. That's true. That he does have to back it up with truth, with proof. But then, like, the problem is, here's how I see it, right? And like, this is highly circumstantial. Well, not circumstantial. It's highly circumstantial, right? Highly circumstantial. But if you have people who do their best to make a thing shady, how could you believe anything other than that, right? So like put it this way, okay? Like say you were in a competition. Say you were gonna play in an FPS competition, and like you and your team, right? And you get there, you're ready for the thing, and they go, oh yeah, by the way, we're using like these systems that have some security vulnerabilities, so they might be able to cheat. Who knows? We don't know. You'd be like, what? Like what the fuck? And, oh yeah, and by the way, like we're not even gonna check. Yeah, there's this guy on their team, and he wears a mask. And yeah, we're not gonna check his identification. Like you'd be like, what, bro? What? You're not gonna like take his mask off and like check to make sure it's really him? Oh no, we don't need to do that. Like it's really fucking weird, right? You'd be like, what? Like how would you not? How would you not think it was like? How would you not think that they're cheating, right? Like wait, why are you setting up so it's so easy to cheat? It's like so fucking weird, right? And like I feel like, and this is the problem. This is why I think we need to secure the elections, is because it causes this scenario. It causes the scenario of people being like, I don't think this is real, and like anytime you can like really put it into serious doubt because it's intentionally made that way, then it makes sense for people to be like, yo, I don't trust this at all. And if you actually cared, right? Like say like you were the type of person, oh man, this is so awful. Like how could Trump say that? Well, why are you against making sure things are more secure? Do you see what I mean? Like what are we talking about? If you are actually against Trump saying, oh, I think that this was unfair, like it seems pretty fucking stolen to me. If you're against that, why would you not be like, let's make it as secure as possible so we can't say shit, right? And like, let's be real. Shit was really fucking weird in like the 2020 election because of COVID. They changed a bunch of rules like last minute because of COVID for the election. Even aside from like all of the normal like, oh yeah, like, we don't need an ID to like vote. Like, we're just going to trust who you are when you say who you are. Like aside from that, which is like already fucking ridiculous, right? There were issues with them not letting, what are they called? The people that are able to observe basically to make sure that there's no cheating. There were a lot of shenanigans with like those people getting kicked out. So normally, like if you were to get like votes, right? Like they would be like, oh, this votes for this person and this votes for the other person. This votes for this person. And it would be like kind of in a ratio, right? But then like there were a lot of cases during the election where a bunch of votes like at one time came out like almost exclusively for one person. So there's like a lot of just weird shit, right? And like a lot of weird circumstantial shit. And like does that necessarily prove that they're cheating? No, because it's possible, right? It's definitely possible for that to occur. But it's just weird, like all the things that happened with it, and like with COVID and like the like they changed the rules for like mail-in voting. It was so weird, the whole thing. So anyway, my point is, if you actually care about people saying, oh, well, the election is not rigged, then you should try to make the election as unriggable as possible. And for some reason, people specifically on one side, by the way, are like really against it. And it's just like, how am I not supposed to be like, yo, that's sus? I'm like, hey man, let's make it so that people can't cheat elections. No, I'm good. Wait, what? Why? I'm like a fan of like strengthening the security of the elections so that there's no question. That way, like, it doesn't matter. If a Republican wins, 100%, like, we're pretty confident that they won and there's no shenanigans. If a Democrat wins, we're pretty sure that they won and there's no, this isn't like a partisan thing. I think that we should be sure of who wins regardless of who it is. Because I don't want the other thing to happen too, where when the Democrats win, the Republicans are like, oh, when the Republicans win, the Democrats are like, oh, it's like cheating, right? Like, I don't want it either way. I'm not being partisan about it, basically. I have a consistent, like, belief in this. It would be very nice if the election itself wasn't in question. Yeah, exactly. And so, like, anyway, to loop back into, like, what I said here, is it really weird for a person to say, yeah, I don't think it was fair. it seems pretty stolen to me. Like like you telling me there's a lot of like weird shit that happened. Like you telling me like this guy, this baka ass guy who like won't even go out to talk. You're telling me this guy beats out Barack Obama, like this Democrat superstar? You're telling me that, and it just so happens to be that the election that had fucked up rules because of COVID? Seems kind of weird. What I'm saying is basically consistent across, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who says it, right? But yeah, I think it's totally reasonable for him to be like, I think it's fucked up. And again, like the thing about Trump, and like, you know, love him or hate him for it, he's not really he doesn't really act like a politician. So like, if you were a business person, like if you see Trump as a business person and he got and he believes he got swindled out of something, yeah, of course he's gonna be like, bitch, like you fucking cheated. Like what the fuck, right? Like it makes sense to me. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it was bad.
But irrespective of your personal views on Trump, the question remains, how is a national...
If they were so inappropriate and so problematic, why do you need to create fan fiction in order to create the narrative for it? So, like, I have no problem saying that, like, yeah, Trump shouldn't have said the election was stolen and it was bullshit. Like, yeah, for sure. But, like, if that's the case and it's such a definitive thing,
see, for me, it's different. It's not... I literally just found the difference. So for me, it's not Trump shouldn't say that. To me, it's Trump shouldn't be able to say it. Trump, to me, he shouldn't even be able to say it because it's so secure that it would be a ridiculous thing for him to say. But like the fact of the matter is, it's not really a ridiculous thing for him to say, and a lot of people believe this. A lot of people believe it, and that's where the problem is.
Making things up about it. Why don't you just simply show what the data is and show what actually happened, rather than splicing it together in a way that's misleading?
To be honest, like I haven't really kept up with the whole 2020 election stuff. There was like a whole bunch of shit around it. You guys remember the fucking Kraken? We're gonna release the Kraken, guys, tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 8 prime time tomorrow. Prime time tomorrow on the Tucker Carlson show. We're gonna release the Kraken. They're so fucking stupid, man. Holy shit. Yeah. Anyway, like, I should probably look into it more because I actually didn't follow up on the election. Like, I mean, after Trump lost, I was just kind of like, well, I guess he just lost, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, even if it was stolen, it doesn't even matter at this point, basically. I was more focused on, like, I wasn't really focused on, like, what could have been, because there's nothing you could do about it anymore. It was more like, what do we do going forward? That's how I was thinking about it.
Funded by taxpayers.
Twitter also deleted the clip of Trump when he called the protesters go home. Now, in my opinion, how would I deal with this? Like, I think that people that do this should face serious repercussions. I do.
Premise that it will provide impartial reporting, allowed to splice together content in a way that one of its...
To be fair, too, though, I do have one more thing to say about the election. To be fair, for some reason, Republicans are really retarded when it comes to elections. And what I mean by that is the Democrats clearly use shady tactics. Like they do like ballot harvesting and shit like that. And the Republicans are like, well, we think that that's bad, so we won't do it. Like, so you're just gonna fucking lose? All right, like self-own. All right, like sure. Like they're so fucking stupid, like all the time. It's irritating.
Own advisors said materially misled viewers.
Absolutely, without a question. It was designed to mislead viewers.
Not only that, but they don't enforce punishment on others' bad behavior. Well, you can't because they don't care. There is no... So Republicans, basically, the way... Do you want to know how Republicans enforce their shit? This is how they enforce it. Shame. I can't believe you would do that. And you know what the other side says? Don't care. Don't care. Go pound sand, bitch. Get fucked. That's how the Democrats are about... Republicans are like, this is so bad. This is so morally bad. You guys are bad people. Very bad. Very bad. Very bad. Bad. You're a bad man. Bad man. And they say, yeah, don't give a fuck. Get fucked. Get fucked. GG. GG, cry about it.
Not even done yet. The footage Panorama showed of the Proud Boys marching towards the Capitol building, seemingly spurred on by Trump's rousing speech. Well, that was actually taken before he'd even addressed the crowd. In fact, the BBC themselves later published a report.
See? It's all about framing. This is what they do.
Man.
This is what they do.
At odds with Panorama's own timeline.
These are the Proud Boy, another right-wing militia seen a little earlier that morning.
Yo, you think they threatened? They threatened the BBC that they're gonna release the Epstein files. You think it's what happened? The Dem said, "Yo, we're gonna release that shit on you if you don't make January 6th look like literally the worst thing that ever happened." You know, if January 6th didn't look like Auschwitz 2.0 was about to happen, then you guys we're releasing the files.
Donald Trump will not appear for another hour or so, but they're already heading towards the Capitol.
They even time-stamped the footage to show that the march began at 10:58 a.m., well before Trump's midday speech.
Right.
The true chronology raises serious questions about the way in which the BBC decided to portray the events of January the 6th.
Man.
In fact, the memo highlights that shortly after...
Do you guys hate the media yet? Man, I hate the media. They're so bad. How did this happen? How did an anime fox, a blue Jew, and a bald World of Warcraft ex-player become the actual news? How did that happen? How the fuck did this happen? How did this happen? Oh my god, dude. Like, how did they become the most trusted source in news? Oh my god. What a timeline, man. If you told me this shit 10 years ago, there's no way I'd believe it. It's like Back to the Future, like the car comes out. Leaflit, I gotta tell you something. What? In the future, no one's gonna listen to the news. But I'm watching the news right now. But CNN. No, listen, Leaflit. It's gonna be a bald man on Twitch.tv. And then there's gonna be an anime girl with white hair and big ass titties. And she's gonna be the source of news. Like, what? Wait, what? Yes, and a blue Jew. Wait, what?
The first extract of Trump's speech, the now president actually said,
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol
I'm like,
building.
shut the fuck. What is this?
Peacefully and patriotically
My name is John Titter.
make your voices heard.
the BBC...
Yep, there it is.
El
And
Sign
this is the
Congo.
thing, is that January 6th obviously was bad, but I don't view January 6th as some kind of unique evil. Whenever you have all of these retards running up and harassing ICE officers and stuff like that, do you also have politicians saying that, oh, be peaceful, make your voice heard, etc.? January 6th is just another version of that. It is. It was, and the Republicans did it once. The Democrat people do it every single week, multiple times. So that's what happened. The BBC are state-funded media, by the way. Yeah, I know. I know. Like, I don't think people understand how bad it really is.
The advisor who wrote this report claimed Panorama's editing was completely misleading.
Of course.
As Trump did not
Absolutely.
explicitly exhort supporters to go down and fight at Capitol Hill. They even pointed out that this was a key reason why he didn't face federal charges for incitement to riot. The BBC's editorial guidelines and standards committee member who wrote this memo raised all of these concerns,
What, did he get fired?
among others, with the BBC executive, but they were dismissed, ignored, and even accused of cherry-picking. But this
See, that's the thing, is you can't go against them, because if they do, then they destroy your reputation and your career. That's what they do.
This isn't the first time we've seen the BBC criticised for selective editing. Cast your mind back to 2007, and you might remember a documentary trailer that appeared to show Queen Elizabeth II storming off in the middle of a photo shoot.
It will look better without the crown. I've heard it will look better, less dressy, because the garter robe is so extraordinary. Dressy? What do you think this is? What I mean is, if you take the crown off just for a couple frames.
Yeah, no. So I'm not changing anything. I've got enough dressing like this. Thank you very much.
But it was later revealed...
Dude, that is like some insane drip, though. I love that. Why does fashion suck so much ass nowadays? Like, what happened to us? You know, like before, people had like one outfit, and it was like really nice. And like nowadays, everybody has a million outfits, and they all suck. It sucks, man.
Yeah, no. So I'm not changing anything. I've got enough dressing like this. Thank you very much.
But it was later revealed the clips had been reversed, with the footage showing the late Queen storming off actually being the moment she first entered the room. And those seemingly cantankerous comments made during the photo shoot?
So different,
well, they were just some well-intentioned sarcasm.
Yeah, they're laughing.
The Crowngate scandal, as it was called at the time, resulted in the resignation of Peter Fincham, the BBC One controller. Now, 18 years later, it appears the broadcaster has not learnt its lesson.
No, they're going to keep doing it, and the reason why they do it is they think their message is more important than the truth. So they are more focused around making sure that they spread their message and they push their agenda. That matters more to them than being able to actually tell the truth or represent things correctly. So to them, it might be confusing to you because you're like, well, why are they lying? Well, that's the reason why they're lying, is that they view the truth as downstream from their agenda and their message. So if the truth is conflicting with what the message is, then the truth is basically reinterpreted or misinterpreted in order to make it reinforce the message. The truth creates the message. Or sorry, the message.
Dude, journalists suck so much ass nowadays. Like, all of the good journalists are like on YouTube, to be honest. Like so many of like they just suck. It's like, I don't know why anyone watches it, to be honest. It's so shit.
Creates the truth. The truth does not create the message. That's their value system.
The letter?
That's 99% of all mainstream media, not BBC. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. If it was up to me, well, I'll stop myself right there.
States.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. When he said, I'll stop myself right there, I kind of heard Erica in my head a little bit. I heard it like distantly.
If BBC journalists are to be allowed to edit video in order to make people say things they never actually said, then what value are the corporation's guidelines? Why should the BBC be trusted?
The guidelines are created in order to control people who they disagree with. Every rule is a weapon.
And where will this all end?
It will never end. It will never end. And that's why you need to have oversight.
Remember, those aren't my words. They're the words of someone who sat on the Editorial Standards Committee.
Yep.
Should Tim Davie, the now Director General, face the same level of accountability that Peter Fincham did in 2007?
Worse. Should do worse.
Well, that remains for the BBC to decide. But if members of its own...
And then figuring out inside, look at all the internal communication, figure out the people that were okay with it all the way down the line, fire every single one of them, and tell them that they're lucky it's not worse.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, you can't be keeping your job like that,
you have no faith in the broadcaster. You have to ask, should we?
No, you should never. Never. They are absolutely against the people. They're working against them 100%. But it does seem
like this is like another problem I found, is that there's like no accountability. It's like they get caught. They get caught dead to rights, red-handed, doing a thing, and it's like, oh, very bad. That was very bad. Oh, sorry, I won't do it again. Okay. It's like literally like that, like every time.
Like they have issued an apology. This is it. It's happened.
Oh, we're so sorry.
The letter that has been published by the BBC chairman, Samir Shah, it has been published on the Culture, Media and Sport website.
News anchors paid to push false narratives is what enables the plutocracy to exist. Thank you for the bits.
And
thank you for 200 bits.
We have it up for you here, where he has written to the chair of the Culture, Media and Sport Committee, wanting to put on record the BBC's position on a number of issues that have been raised in the leak of a letter to the BBC board from Michael Prescott, a former external advisor to the BBC's Editorial
lying about an apology too?
Committee.
Yeah, of course.
He also wants to address questions that you asked me in the letter, and he said he wants to make
two BBC people have already resigned over this. Good.
Clear that they have taken Mr. Prescott's concerns seriously and considered the points he made carefully. They have met the board to discuss this. He said it is worth stating at the outset that some of the coverage of Mr. Prescott's memo has implied that he has...
The reason why it takes so long for people to fact check stuff like this is because there's an intentionally created media apparatus that exists for the purpose of misleading you and creating a false reality in order to make you believe something that isn't true.
I wonder how much the media hates Asmongold. They must hate him so much.
That's the reason why. It's the same reason why when a games journalist brings up an issue with diversity or any DEI stuff, they are immediately met with hate and harassment from people inside of their field, because it's supposed to create a chilling effect inside of the space.
You know what I should do, chat? I just thought of a really good AI bit. I should do like, does anybody remember the 4chan hackers on steroids, like news report? I should do that with Asmongold and then like have a car explode like in the video. Yeah, I should do that. That would be great.
Where nobody is allowed to talk about these topics. That's the reason why it happens, is that you have a propaganda apparatus that is voluntarily opted into, and for the people who don't opt into it, they are pushed out of the apparatus. So that's the reason why it happens.
Covered a list of stories and issues that the BBC have sought to bury.
You know what we should do? You know what I need to do? I need to find like a clip of him talking about I gotta find a clip of him talking about like Nazis or something like that, and then just clip it completely out of context. and I gotta have the news reporter say real and true.
That interpretation.
Oh, that's quite a project, though. That's quite a project.
The issues raised by Mr. Prescott are precisely the issues that are being considered by the EGSC and the board. The EGSC is the senior forum in which we scrutinise BBC output when concerns have been raised from either internal or external sources. And they're
quick to arrest their own citizens for offensive speech, but they won't take any action on big media corporations outputting fake news. Yep, I find that very interesting.
Determine what action needs to be taken.
Can you imagine? It just goes like Asmund, and he just goes, Nazis. I find that very interesting. It's like cut like so bad.
Put simply, the committee's job is to examine the bad news, not the good news. Sometimes the mistakes are one-offs, others may point to underlying problems. The job is never complete.
What?
It is only by identifying and highlighting these issues and implementing changes the BBC demonstrates its commitment to continuous
you never trust these
improvement. Now, he then says another view that has gained currency in the coverage that the BBC has
cut black people.
And implementing changes, the BBC demonstrates its commitment to continuous
you never trust these
improvement. Now, he then says another
I could be like, guys, I could totally be the BBC, man. I could be the BBC, man. I could do it.
In the coverage, the BBC has done nothing to tackle these problems. This is simply not true, he says.
Well, that's true. They have done things to tackle them. They've tried to suppress them as much as possible.
BBC right here.
Never trust these people.
So you get a cut of him saying like black people or like Jews or something, and then you just go.
It was only by identifying and highlighting these issues and implementing changes.
Here's the cut.
The BBC demonstrates its commitment to continuous.
You
add this here.
Trust these
improvement.
And then you skip a little bit.
Thing to tackle these.
Tried to suppress them as much as possible.
Suppress them as much as possible.
By tackling them, you mean taking the problem.
By tackling them, and then you take off the second part there. By tackling them. You try to suppress them as much as possible by tackling them.
They've tried to suppress them as much as possible. By tackling them, you mean taking the problem and then minimizing it as much as possible.
It's so
people can't see it.
Hold on. I could do. Oh my god, I could do this like real.
It's true.
Over the 3 years that Mr. Prescott was an advisor, he says the BBC has published corrections when we've got things wrong. They've changed editorial guidance to make the BBC's position clearer on issues and made changes to leadership where the problems point to underlying issues and carried out formal disciplinary
this building does suck.
measures.
This building looks like somebody who's just really bad at playing Tetris. That's it. Looks so bad.
During the 3 years Mr. Prescott was an advisor to the committee, the BBC produced thousands of hours of outstanding journalism on television, radio, online, nationally, regionally and internationally. This does not diminish the importance the BBC board places on addressing the issues that Mr. Prescott has raised.
Yeah, they're lying.
But it is also important that a sense of perspective is maintained.
Yeah, there's the lies that we know about and there's the lies that we don't know about.
So just to point out to you that what we are reading out to you now is the BBC Chair, Samir Shah. This is the letter that I have right now from him that we have just seen.
And our taxes went to paying BBC via USAID. You love to see it, yeah. I love to pay to get propagandized. You know, I love giving them money so that they can propagandize me. It's actually my favorite.
Seen in the past minute or so to the chair of the Culture, Media and Sport Committee. And also to remind you in context, the BBC Director General Tim Davie and CEO of News Deborah Turnus both resigned on Sunday after a leaked memo that criticised a 2024 panel.
It's kind of like, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like being a simp for a female VTuber streamer that hates men. It's kind of similar.
Panorama program made by an outside production company about the US president, where they edited together two parts of a...
Hey, I didn't say any names. Hey, hey, chat. I didn't say shit. Hex, thanks for the bits. Thank you. You could edit a picture of the Twin Towers into that clip.
Speech.
See, I'll believe that they care about this kind of stuff whenever you start seeing people getting prosecuted for election interference.
Yep, true.
That's whenever I'll be like, okay, all right, now they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, Aslan makes so much sense
Until I
with
see
this.
Old Testament answers,
True.
everything is a lie.
It's all performative bullshit, yeah.
The president made so that it appeared
Was the accountability?
that he explicitly encouraged
smoke,
the
there's fire.
Capitol.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, like, I wish we could get Asmund as an actual politician. Like, if Asmund could, I wish that he could get in there and just, like, actually fix shit, you know?
Riots back in January 2020.
America should start doing that first. I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Other
They'd probably kill him, man.
things have been criticised in that memo as well. But here is a reaction that we have been getting now from Samir Shah.
He wouldn't want to do it. I think you got to get people that don't want to do it to actually be in. See, the people that don't want to be politicians, those are the people that we need to be politicians, basically.
That I am bringing to
If a person wants to be a politician, they shouldn't be a politician, I think.
you. It's long. I'm trying to take you through the details and bring you the
who
key
cares?
lines
It's just bullshit.
as I see them.
This is just literally them talking. This is so fucking boring. I can't watch this anymore.
True.
But yeah, there we go. We've seen it. This is obviously what happened. And now they are apologizing. Big fucking surprise.
There are some
Is there any more of this?
strong
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
of some pretty senior named individuals throughout this.
Yeah.
We're working through this in real time, Katie, but you know, there's some quite kind of strong views.
You know what they should have to do when they do this? They should have to take out an ad, or they should have to run an ad of Trump's choosing on their own network over and over again about how they lied. It's like every time like the news report goes on from the BBC, it's just like an ad before it about how they're fucking liars. That's what they should do.
Things went wrong from the chairman's perspective.
Well, they went wrong because you have people with biases that are trying to put them into the media. That's the reason why. It's obviously why. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Duh.
for them to have tried to defend this edit.
Liberals just lost their January 6th argument, I guess. They never had one. I mean, January 6th was really bad, but it's obvious that if anybody has been paying attention for the last year, the overwhelming majority of, collective political unrest has been by left-wing people. And this has been at the same time as a ton of extra violence, people burning up Teslas, people destroying property, people attacking ICE agents, everything like this. And they're the ones who basically have ownership over this problem. Now, obviously, there have been right-wing bad actors too, but if you're talking about collective violence and collective problems, you have BLM, you've had the Tesla burnings, and now you're having the ICE crash outs, and these are all left-wing things. Mm-hmm. When Elon Musk went and called Donald Trump or implied that he was a pedo in the Epstein files, not a single Republican went out and started burning random Teslas and destroying them at dealerships. This is a Democrat problem.
We need to tone down the temperature, guys. Everybody. You conservative people need to tone down the fucking temperature, because if you didn't have the temperature so high, none of this would happen.
And the reason why it is a Democrat problem is because they have convinced themselves that they are fighting against Nazis. They've convinced themselves they are fighting against
both sides,
fascism, and this is some kind of existential threat that basically the ends justify the means. Anything bad that they do is totally justified because it serves a greater goal of getting rid of something that they view as problem. Yes, the Democrat. This is I think it is a unique Democrat problem. Now, when a Republican does something bad, here's the big difference. difference, right? It's not that Republicans don't do anything bad, but when a Republican does something bad, everybody generally says, oh, okay, that's really bad. But the problem is that Democrats look to try to, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter that much. Who cares? And I think that has radicalized a lot of people. And I'll view that, and we can contrast this now with, do you remember whenever they had all those text message leaks and it was all those young Republican people talking about how much they liked Hitler? And nobody really cared about that anymore. And the reason why, it's because left-wing people have established basically a standard, and now right-wing people are living up to it. So you have all these conservatives that are saying this crazy stuff, and there's never a point of moral authority that, any liberal can have when
they do the same thing. Yeah, basically. Like the problem is that the rules of engagement have been drastically watered down. So it's like when you see that kind of super radical stuff, it's just kind of like, well, I mean, what about them? It just turns into like a whataboutism, basically. And like, obviously it's like still bad regardless of who does it. But what happens is people are like, I don't really care. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care what. I don't want to hear shit from you. Right? They'll be like, oh my God, look at that. Those people said a very Nazi thing. And then people will be like, okay, well, I seen what makes you clap. So why the fuck do I care what you have to say? If you had 40K viewers and a campaign manager offered you 500K a month to push a narrative they tell you to, would you sell out? No. And the reason why is because I don't really care about money, to be honest. You can ask any of my staff. I don't really care. I spend it all on like stream upgrades. Well, stuff that you don't know yet, but I spend it all on like stuff like behind the scenes. Basically everything gets reinvested into the company because I don't really buy anything, really. Anything I could possibly want, the company gets for me anyway. Does that make sense? So it's like anything I could possibly want, like say like I want to roll on a new banner in Uma Musume, the company pays for that. So it's kind of like it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah. So that's basically it. Anything I want is business related anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't need a bigger house or anything like that. I don't need to be a fucking Hassan, Bantha Man, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. Muddy the water to make them deep moral ambiguity. The reason why I had to think about it, thank you, Bantha Man. The reason I had to think about it, Ower, is because I was like, okay, like, is there a way I can break the rules here? Like, is there a way I can take their money? Is there a way I can take their money and then call them a bitch? You know what I mean? Like I was like, is there like a loophole in the contract where like I can take it and be like, by the way, guys, they paid me to say this, right? Because then I could say like for instance, Joe Biden goes, Leaflit, I'll give you 500K corn pop. Tell him I like corn pop, right? I'd be like, okay, the corn pop thing really happened, and I got paid to say this. You know what I mean? Like sure, I'd do it. like, okay. Guys, Joe Biden is the best. They paid me 500K to say this, right? Like if I could do that, then yeah, I'd totally do it. You know what I mean? And then I would use that 500K to like maybe like make a pilot episode of anime or something. Yeah, I'd be able to do it. I'd be able to like make anime with it. Fuck yeah, clip it. All right, let's keep going.
You're the one justifying, shutting down a college, or you're the one justifying being violent to an officer, or you're the one justifying, destroying property, somebody's car, something like that.
Yep.
They all got blacklisted and fired from their jobs. Yes, but
it's like I was saying earlier, like before that happened. It's like I was saying, like, oh, your friend group has multiple people that were dropping, the HH. They were dropping the HH, right? Look at this guy. This guy's posting like this, like, this neo-Nazi stuff, right? You're a bad person. I'd be like, I don't want to fucking hear shit from you. I saw you laugh. I saw you laugh and cheer when Charlie Kirk died. Don't give a fuck what you had to say at all. Literally don't care. Right. And that's kind of like the climate that they've created, basically. Is like you have no place to have a moral high ground on me. I can do literally anything and it doesn't matter, basically. And by doing that, it does raise the temperature, basically.
I understand that structurally, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened to them. What matters is how the public perceives it. And I think that this is continuing to become the case. I think that any conservative at this point should totally stop purity testing, because left-wing people don't purity test themselves. And if you allow other people to create the optics for you, all you're doing is you're allowing your enemy to define how you lose. And basically, you can see how they had no problem voting for Jay Jones, right? This is a guy that like fantasized about killing, his political opponent's children. Well, if you're going to vote for that person and you're not going to have people withdraw their nominations from them, well, then I don't want to hear from you about how bad it is that somebody said something bad in a group chat.
Yep, nobody cares.
Like you've just lost all of your right to be able to be any sort of moral authority on this topic, period. It's total bullshit.
Particular. I mean, the
That's
thing
what I
that
think.
has enraged people so much.
It's a lack of
days is how there is any justification.
And it goes back to like what I've been talking about for the last couple of days. Is it's a lack of consistency in beliefs. Like it's not grounded in like an actual philosophy and an actual understanding of like what they believe. It's just whatever. It's just what bad for me bad, what good for me good. That's literally like their unga bunga fucking ideology. Is like that feel bad, me no like. Oh, that good feel good. Wow, like that's like literally how they think. It's like it's so fucking monkey, basically.
For an edit where you take a speech where one section was the start of the speech and it was sort of sandwiched together with something that was from 15 minutes later in the speech. I mean, with any sort of journalistic newsroom, few would kind of the thought that is formed.
It's disgraceful, and I think that again, it's election interference. It is it's disgusting. You shouldn't be doing this, right? It's definitely not just a Democrat, probably more of a lapse of morals with society and people. I'm not arguing that it's not mostly left-wing, but I don't think it's specifically that. I think that right now it is. I think that in the future it will also be right-wing. Like, I think this is a pendulum, and right now there's a lot of left-wing political violence because they feel like they're justified to do it. I don't think that they have a monopoly on that, like categorically by the nature of them being left-wing people. I don't think that at all. But what I do...
The weird thing, too, is like, here's like one thing... and I talked about this a little bit before. I don't really accept that. I don't really accept the prompt that Nazis are right wing. I don't even think that that's true. And like that keeps being used, and I just don't even think that's even right.
Think is that a lot of left-wing people do justify that type of behavior, and so you're right, and it will always swing. Yes, it will swing and it will change again.
Anyway, that was a I really like watching Asmongold stuff. It's like it's really neat to see kind of another like center perspective, just like a little bit more on the left side, and like it's really helpful to me personally. Because it's so close with only a slight difference. It makes me consider like kind of the smaller things and helps me find like a better ways of thinking.